president to lock down the country again. But individuals such as immediate past Kumbungu MP Ras Mubarak has asked President Akufo-Addo to exclude lockdown from his strategies, arguing that majority of Ghanaians cannot survive a second lockdown. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo, in a Sunday night address, pledged to intensify a strategy of tracing, testing and treating to immediately contain the virus. He, however, warned that laboratories, particularly private ones, who do fail to supply data on positive cases to the Ghana Health Service will be sanctioned. Government is reactivating available treatment and isolation facilities across the country in anticipation of any further increase in infections. The provision of adequate medicines, equipment, and personal protective equipment to enable health workers to attend to home-based patients is being affected. Enyanom, motie masem. Ni me na me. Anyami me. They should note that this too shall pass. The battle is the Lord. And then you can do election, and the battle is the Lord's. Okay, let's listen to how the president said it.
It is my duty to protect lives and livelihoods. In furtherance of this, I've instructed the Inspector General of Police to direct officers, men and women of the police service to ensure the rigorous enforcement of the law on mask wearing at all public places and in public transport. They're also to ensure the closure of all nightclubs, pubs, cinemas and beaches that may be operating in defiance of the law. They will be assisted by the other security agencies if need be. Persons in marketplaces, workplaces, and operators of public transport must conduct their activities in accordance with the hygiene and safety protocols. The wearing of masks in these places is mandatory. Regulatory agencies will undertake random checks to ensure conformity with COVID-19 rules. Should any facility or institution fail to comply with these directives, its activities will be immediately prohibited and appropriate sanctions applied. It is important that I remind all Ghanaians that severe punishments exist on our statute books for persons breaking the law on the mandatory wearing of masks. Should anyone be arrested by the security agencies disregarding this directive, that person will be dealt with strictly in accordance with law. We do not want to go back to the days of partial lockdowns, which had a negative impact on our economy and on our way of life. But should that become necessary, that is, should the number of active cases continue to increase at the current rate, I will have no option but to reimpose these restrictions, because it is better to be safe than to be sorry. So together, let us all ensure that we respect the protocols.
So, that was President Akufo-Addo. Now, I would want us to kill one bird with two stones, or kill two birds with one stone. So not kill two stones, not use two stones to kill one bird. If we use two stones to kill one bird, the bird has nowhere to go than to be killed. All right, so let's listen to how President Akufo-Addo also talked about reopening schools.
As our children in kindergarten, primary, junior high school, SHS2 and SHS3 resume school from tomorrow, I wish to reiterate the government has taken the required steps to ensure their safety in school. Heads of institutions, as well as their teachers, have undergone the requisite orientation on guidelines for school reopening during COVID-19 to enable them assist with compliance of students with the protocols. I've been encouraged by the preparations being made by many schools, in some cases with the support of their old students' association and PTAs, in anticipation of the return on Monday. On our part, government has also undertaken the fumigation and disinfection of schools and the provision of sanitizers, masks, liquid soaps, Veronica buckets, rolls of tissue paper, face shields for learners and staff with hearing impairments, and gloves for caregivers and attendants to schools across the country. All senior high schools have been mapped to medical facilities across the country so that any outbreak of the disease in any such school can be duly contained. Suspected cases in primary and junior high schools will be managed by district health teams through the school health program and the COVID-19 rapid response teams. The world is facing a learning crisis, a crisis that is further worsening inequalities in access to education, with children from poorer homes and communities being worst hit. This learning crisis has serious implications for the future of our country. This is especially worrying for me because I have placed education at the center of the social and economic progress and prosperity of Ghana and of her political stability. That is why, in our attempt to mitigate the impact of the pandemic, the CAP Bus initiative, being administered by the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, has started disbursements to applicants from private educational institutions, many of whom have been hard hit by the pandemic. More disbursements to these institutions are being processed. And I wish to speak directly to the students and children returning to school, and those of you who have already returned. I know that for most of you, 2020 was a very unfamiliar year and presented a setback for your preparation for the future. You all saw the struggle your parents, especially working parents, went through with you at home due to school closures. You also know how you struggled to learn from home, even for those of you who were lucky enough to continue with some of your classes online. The frustrations, the idleness, the absence of classroom, or study group intimacy. It has all been extremely difficult for you, your parents, teachers, and everybody involved. This is something we should all try to put behind us. Much of that depends on you. As we take these big steps to go back to school, your attitude, your behavior, your self-discipline will decide whether or not our schools will remain open. I'm pleading with you. Please observe the COVID-19 protocols at all times. You must maintain the level of discipline and sense of responsibility to stop the virus from spreading in your schools and for those students at home as well. Wear your masks at all times. Wash and sanitize your hands regularly. Protect yourself. Protect each other. Protect your teachers. Protect your parents. But please, do not give me a reason to close down schools again. I pledge to do my best to keep your education going. I want you to assure me, your parents, your teachers, and society as a whole, through your actions, that you will do your part as well.
So that was President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Back in the studio, Ria, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again. You look beautiful as usual.
Thank you. Thank you, darling.
Hey.
Darling, come home. Your husband is here.
Ernest, good
I
morning.
like your reaction when she said the darling.
Hey.
Wow.
Darling, it's your baby.
And then Darling Lemon. Andy, good morning. How are we?
Yeah.
Ria is here, so everything is okay.
Oh, do you want food? Tomorrow I can bring you something. What you want?
Bring food. Yesterday, Elombini brought us food.
So,
Nice, Charlie. The way the food they be.
so what would
Wachi
you
or
No, jollof mixed with jollof chicken, shito. I mean, the way they've demarcated the whole pack, Charlie.
did he cook it himself?
No, he ordered it.
Okay.
The be brutal.
Your man made me and them intending.
What's wrong with it?
Well,
In same P.
I don't want to talk.
In same P.
Because I've ate something and by the time I realized I've ate something and ate something.
Hey. Wow.
Bottom. Brebe one. Okay, so you had the president. Ria, you were here earlier.
Yeah.
You had the president talking about the reinforcement of the wearing of face masks
Yeah.
and reopening of schools. So I want us to look at the face masks first, and then we come to the reopening of schools.
I think left to the wearing of face mask alone, I think the president might want to make us go on a partial lockdown again, honestly, because after the address, was it on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
After the address on Sunday, yesterday, I saw people walking in town without their nose masks. And even my Bolt or Uber driver I picked wasn't wearing his nose mask. I had to, tell him, okay, boss, please, can you wear your nose mask? He's like, oh, me to me, the regular excuses they give. So honestly, I think people should really, really adhere to the rules, because they don't. I don't think actually Ghanaians understand what is at stake. People are literally dying, and other people are just walking around like, there's nothing wrong. So, I mean, it's to your own detriment. The police can do what they have to do. We as human beings too, or civilians too, have to do what we have to do. And if we choose not to, it's either you die or face the music. Regardless, you just have to wear it. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Ernest?
Andy, good morning once again, and good morning to everyone. The first thing is, you see, we should know that your life belongs to you, but you belong to a society. And it is up to the society's, it is part of the society's responsibility to ensure that you are saved. Yeah, because you are part of the country's human resource base. So if you lose your life, the country has lost something. That is why if you attempt suicide and you don't succeed, you are arrested.
Yeah.
Because you belong to a society. And per the Constitution, even though God gave you your life, you don't have the right to take your life. And now where we stand now and where we sit now, not wearing your nose mask is like attempting suicide. Because, Andy, we are not in normal times. This new strain that is out there, Andy, can kill you within 8 hours. That is what we've been told. Within 8 hours, you are gone. And according to what the scientists are saying, before you start coughing, before you start feeling dizzy and all these things, half of your intestines, lungs and everything has already been damaged. So we are not in normal times. We like joking and playing with issues. It's about time that we take issues serious. But now, the Ghana Medical Association partly blamed political activities to where we are today. Let me explain. Not because the political activities played a role in the hike, But at the end of the day, the political activities gave people a certain false hope, a certain false sense of security that, oh, after all, see it me away there, then everything is normal. Oh, the politicians, they are lying to us, because if they know that this disease is there, they wouldn't have organized health wealth, they wouldn't have organized this, they wouldn't have done that. And a typical Ghanaian, once you give him that false sense of hope or that false sense of security, they would take the disease for granted. We should bear it in mind that we are alive only by grace. Only by grace. We are talking about a disease that has claimed over 1.7 million people. Even in Ghana, now we are hitting our 400s in terms of deaths. Now our active cases has gone back to over 1,500. So now what Ghana Medical Association was saying is that when the disease came and we started enforcing the laws, people took it serious. Even though at a point in time, we loosened it small and all these kind of things. But we were at the verge of defeating the virus. Then all of a sudden, political activities come in. So people also relaxed. Now, people are asking whether it is possible that there will be a lockdown. Yes, it is highly possible.
High possibility.
Because when you go to our markets and see. Yesterday our reporters were around. Go to our markets. If you see, when you go to our lorry terminals, passengers are not wearing it. Drivers are not wearing it. Now GPRT, what they are doing is, if you are a driver and you are not wearing a mask, they will not let you move. Now passengers come, they don't have a mask, and they are allowed to sit in the car. So you see a whole bus loaded, and you see about only 2 people wearing those masks. Where we are heading towards,
There will be a lockdown.
we will force, I will not say we will force government, we will force ourselves to go back into the room. Now, some companies are re-strategizing as to going back to the division of their workers and all these things. And it is possible that by next week, some companies will start doing that, which I know for a fact because I've been in 1 or 2 meetings and I know the plan. And I've been part of the plan and all these things. So we should take it serious. This disease, we win together and we lose together. If we take it as one of those things, if you die, definitely yes. Yeah, it's your own life. We will bury you. But the nation has lost something. That is why we should protect you. So if you don't wear the mask, it's like trying to commit suicide. You should be arrested and they are lost.
But you see, I have this question. Why is it that Ghanaians would like there to be some drastic measures before they follow rules?
See, if you're a leader, the first thing you have to know to be a good leader is to know how your people behave towards issues. It is very important, or else you cannot lead them. If you don't know your people, how do you lead them? Because at the end of the day, if you are going to even say anything, you should anticipate their reaction. So having known Ghanaians as people who would love last minute things, people who would love to be controlled, micromanaged, then the enforcement should be serious. That is why I had a problem with what went on during the campaign season. Because now it has made it so difficult to convince people that the disease exists.
What even baffles me is how Ghanaians are shocked at the rate at which the disease is going. You were in clubs during year for 10.
I was coming there. During the Christmas festivities, people jubilated as if we've never heard of COVID. But we are not in normal times.
Man.
Government said that, okay, pubs and nightclubs shouldn't operate, but some operated. We saw it on IG, on social media. People having their bash, their whatever. And at the end of the day, you cannot eat your cake and have it. You cannot choose fun without protection and avoid being infected by the virus. And this is a virus that even within the last 1 week, look at the notable people even though it is alleged, we don't have a fact to that because no hospital, no doctor, or even Ghana Health Service cannot come out and say that, okay, this person died of that disease. It is against their human rights. You don't do that because one's health status is between that person and the medical,
doctor patient's confidentiality.
Confidentiality. So you cannot do that.
Right.
But Andy, we are joking with it. Me, I'm worried. We are joking with it. If we don't take care, it might take us by storm. Now the security people are also meeting so that they can fully enforce the wearing of nose mask. We are not animals. We should sense danger when we see one. We shouldn't be beaten before we protect ourselves. Please, for once, let's get serious. The disease is real. It's killing people. If you don't know one, I know many of them.
And it's killed my friend, my senior actually, a few days ago.
Charlie, we shouldn't joke with it. We shouldn't joke with it at all. It's not funny. It's not funny. If you don't love yourself, I love you. I would like you to listen to Hitz FM the next day. So protect yourself, at least for us and for the show. Yeah.
All right. But let's quickly look at the reopening of schools. Before that, let's say a big thank you to Vodafone, Betway, and Tri-Steel Roofing Company Limited. All right. These companies have really helped, and they are the reason Showbiz Review is on air. I beg you, make you no lose card. Tri-Steel Roofing Company Limited, Vodafone. They say if you want to send cash to any loved one, all you have to do is just dial *110# and you are well sorted. That'll be all for now. Okay, so let's look at the reopening of schools. Earlier this morning on my way to work, I saw 2 pupils. Oh, Charlie, I was sad, and they were on the road. I don't know whether they were going to get a vehicle, but kids who were very much awake. Some wake up very early in the morning and on the way, and I didn't see a nose mask on them. And I was so sad, like, whoa, anything can happen to them. Looking at the reopening of schools, what's your take on it? Do you think they should have waited for a while?
Honestly, I as I said yesterday, I don't have a problem with children who are 10 years and above. I'm really worried about the 10 years and below, the toddlers. Those are the people I'm really worried about. And we should also realize that children do not do what we say. They mirror our character. Okay, so we, the older people, are not wearing our nose masks. What do you think the kids will do when they go to school? Yesterday, Andy, you were saying your son wanted to wear your nose mask. Mm-hmm. Now, it is imperative for parents to actually sit their children down and say, don't take anybody's nose mask. I'll give you extra nose masks when you are going to school. When the one you are wearing falls down, don't pick it. Wear the one in your bag. We might put all the blame on the government, but we have, as parents, we as older siblings, aunties, uncles, also have a role to play in it. You get me? So, honestly, you were even saying that you saw a kid early this morning on the roadside. I saw on social media yesterday, the kid wasn't wearing a nose mask. He had something I would call a replica of a nose mask, because he had tissue paper on his nose and he had held it with rubber band. He had held it with rubber band, and someone had posted it on her status and was laughing. I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it funny at all, because what is funny about this?
I think it came from the northern region, because our reporter from there posted it on our page.
I even saw schools who were not social distancing. You understand? No, they were sitting. Most of the times in the government schools, they share desks. Yeah. They share desks, so that it's one big desk and 2 pupils sit
Some are even sitting in threes.
Can you
That was
imagine?
what happened yesterday.
Can you imagine?
In threes, when our reporters went
People
round.
are coming from their individual homes. You do not. So sometimes, I have a little niece, okay, my sister's daughter, and I am even scared. She's in private school,
Oh.
but I am scared.
My girl.
Yes, Andy, I am so scared because fine, we might educate my niece, but when she gets to school, she's out of our hands. What are we going to do at this point? Because somebody might come with the virus from his, from home, and then now touch my niece, no social distancing and all this. Then what does my niece brings it home now? Everybody in the house is in trouble, and children cannot survive without care. Children need care. So who is going to stand by? It's just too much.
Andy,
I think.
Desperate
Oh,
child.
okay.
Yeah,
It
yes,
happened in Oti
yes.
region. Oti region.
Yes.
Our reporter, Boa Augustine, brought it.
Look, fine, schools are open, but there have to be necessary logistics put in place, because if not, I don't think parents. I know I wouldn't feel comfortable with my niece going to school because she's just 7. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Hits 103.9 of NS. Have you spoken on the school?
No. Andy, it just came out that Ghana Education Service, Ghana National Teachers Association, NAT, they are calling for the reclosure of schools.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just came out. They are calling for the reclosure of schools. And what are the reasons? One,
Hike.
can we
Increase in case.
you see, when president was speaking, he gave a quota as to the number of students that should be in a class. Now, yesterday we went to schools and there were over 40 students in one class. Some were sitting in 3s and 2s. That flouts the social distancing rule, which is very important when it comes to the fight against COVID-19. Some do not have nose mask. Government promised that they were going to give nose mask. As at the time our reporters went there, the students were in class and the nose mask hadn't gotten there. That was why you see somebody improvising. You see? Apart from that, people are asking questions whether we should adopt the double track system to ensure an effective social distancing implementation. So one batch goes to school, they leave, and the other follows. Now, what happens is if we are to adopt the double track system in schools, which means the teachers will be doing multiple work, and it comes with a cost.
Are we going to pay them?
So the cost of operation in schools would increase. That one too is there. Now, people are asking questions whether the toddlers need to go to school or not. We have a school going age. At age 4, ideally, psychologically, the child should be in school because around that time, the brain begins to pick the immediate things around them. So that is the basis, that's the formative stage. So if you decide not to allow the child to go to school because of COVID-19,
And you're also not helping at home.
and you don't have any alternative, what it means is you are denying the child the opportunity to go to school at the right time and know the right things at the right time. That one too is there, and that is against that child's human rights. Now the second thing is, if the child goes to school, what are the dangers involved? Can you avoid the children from playing, which is part of their learning process? Nose mask. Kids are very playful. So you wear a blue nose mask. Some kid might love a blue nose mask. So even though he is also wearing one, but he will love to touch your nose mask and all these kind of things. So our teachers should be extra vigilant.
Which is a problem because
And our supervisors should also supervise the teachers very well to ensure that they are obeying the COVID-19 protocols, because if they don't do that, then the kids are in danger. When COVID-19 came, some of the schools implemented the virtual learning system.
Yeah.
Now, people were saying, we were having this argument yesterday on Adam. People were saying that no, the children shouldn't have gone to school. We should have stick to the virtual learning process. Now, you go to my village, there is no light. So how do you implement the virtual learning system in such places?
You are even saying your village. Some people in Accra.
I'm using my village because I know my village.
Oh, your village.
Because
Some people in Accra do not even have the access to laptops.
You are talking about some don't have access to light. So so how do you even operate if you have a laptop? So that is the basics. So if you look at the basics, we didn't plan before COVID-19 came. But the question is, from the time COVID-19 came to Ghana, that was in March, till now, couldn't we have done anything to improve so that even if COVID-19 is to stay with us for 10 years, we can still ensure that our children are educated, because we cannot leave them behind?
Yeah.
Couldn't we have extended the national grid system or improvise a solar system that can cater for the places that we don't have lights, so that instead of bringing all the students together, exposing them to dangers that we foresee or we do not anticipate, couldn't we have done anything to stick to, at least for now, to stick to the virtual learning system? These are questions that people are asking. So it's an egg and chicken situation. And where we are standing now, it's not cool. So if we decide to let the students go back home, what next?
You see, for this pandemic has a lot of cons, okay? But I think one pro that this pandemic has brought is that now our leaders are forced to take a second look and review our educational system and the provision of basic amenities. You get me? Mm-hmm. Because even during this pandemic, there's this rationing of water going on here in Accra.
Yeah.
And one thing that's the eradication of the coronavirus is very, very, very banked on is the provision of water.
Yeah, so that people can
wash their hands, because the use of the sanitizer is not so much guaranteed. You understand?
Even with the sanitizer, I learned if you apply it for 5 times, you should wash your hands.
Exactly, because it gets sticky and a lot of dust settles on your hand. You understand? So I think one good thing that has come out of this pandemic is the fact that the leaders are being forced to check our educational system and also the provision of basic amenities to the people of Ghana.
Yeah. So Andy,
right.
Wrapping up, now Nat is calling for reclosure of schools. So when the children go home, what next? Ghana National Association.
That's why I said Nathaniel. And I heard Nat.
That is the abbreviation. So when they go home, the question is: in our homes, are we following the protocols? We want the kids to adapt.
Well, is that not the reason joy learning and the rest are up?
But do we follow the protocols in our homes?
No, not all of us.
So you want the kid to go to school, wake up one day, go to school and wear nose mask. Meanwhile, in the house, the mother doesn't wear it.
Better still, they must wear it at home.
Doesn't wear it. So it's a
they don't even wash their hands.
It's a practice. When you do that, you are punishing the children unnecessarily. Unnecessarily, because it's an attitude that they need to adopt. And they need to be taught. Who is teaching them? They are looking up to their role models. That is the parents, the immediate family. They are not following it, and yet they expect the kids to follow. Andy, we are not in normal times.
I know.
We should be very careful of how we handle issues, because or else the reopening of the school alone can trigger what we are not ready for. That is, if we don't do the right things at the right time.
Ernest, right there, here on Hitz 103.9 FM, and I'm here with Ria. We are talking showbiz.
Charlie be snubble cage. Fuck raw on the singles, make the beats funny kicks. Rap game, me what cheese what me fear.
We are all big football fans, but there are some other sports that I'm personally a fan of, like tennis and basketball. Luckily, Betway Mobile and online sports betting has introduced sports, casino games, bet games, and more on their platforms for us to bet on. From football to roulette to esports to horse racing, visit www.betway.com.gh to play today. Remember, bet responsibly. No under 18. Betway, for the love of the game. Don't forget that Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Say corn precedents, now it's the same. Still me and magnificent.
Now, from the 11th to 17th of February 2021, we'll be having a getaway that offer unrivaled luxury with beautiful shades of blue, swaying palm trees, and sparkling white sand beach. The only destination that fits this description is Maldives, the world's leading destination in 2020, and your most trusted agency, Adansi Travels, is inviting you to join the next ultimate relaxation trip dated 11 to 17 February 2021 for a special deal of only $2,650 single and $5,250 couple. Well, I know who I'm going with, so Nkasa. Oh, you are not coming?
Maybe. Why not?
Thank you. So,
I didn't hear anything.
I don't like it when I'm selling. Oh, when I'm selling stuff and ideas come and I'm using it and you try not to support.
Why? Has anybody?
Because you don't support. I'm taking someone with me. It's like you don't support.
Oh, why? Yeah, there's
You see the way all of a sudden
This is a wild allegation because I've not talked.
But I've not mentioned your name.
Okay, because you were looking at me.
Okay. Mr. Logic and Obi, my friend, why are you looking at my face? Hey, can't I look at your face and speak? And they accept me. So for $2,650, $2,650, you get your flight on Qatar Airways, 5 nights hotel, full board meals, covered PCR test, and many other benefits. Book now at www.adansitravels.com. I trust Adansi Travels. They took me to Maha Beach Resort, and it was fun. I mean, these are people so gentle and nice. When things don't go well, they are quick to retract. They are quick to apologize. They make sure that you are well and you are secure. Charlie, to enjoy huge discount plus free swimming lessons ahead of the trip, kindly call on 0556 310404. 0556 310404. Take this sweet vacation with your loved one for an unforgettable romantic getaway. Now, those people on Twitter and WhatsApp, no, I bet you, I need a vacation. Ebinie, you need a vacation. Ebinie, you are waiting for somebody to take you to Adan, or somebody to take you to Ekropon, somebody to take you to Cape Coast. I'll take you to Maldives, so look sharp. Don't just come and be wearing some clothes with some hairstyle.
No cabin slit.
You okay? If you go and wear cabin slit. Today is Tuesday. So there is free pizza for you. I'm sure you love pizza. Working days, there is an offer of a weekly bundle package of 100 CDs consisting of one large pizza. Oh, immediately I thought pizza. No, Mohammed come here. Chalemo, I'll go sort you, don't worry. One artist special rice and one bottle of Coke from Monday to Wednesday. So it means it began yesterday. It's on today and tomorrow. Place your order. Call on 0559 520 591. 0559 520 591 or 0275 205 911. Locate us on the Spintex Road, 18 Junction, opposite KFC. Artist Pizza and Pub. Great taste. Okay. Now, guys, Aquabwa has spoken. Knowing God is a personal affair. Aquabwa responds to critics who claim he's not worthy of gospel music. Musician Aquabwa is not happy with people who criticized him for doing gospel music. The singer has, but why must they criticize him for doing gospel music? The singer has come under serious criticism for his feature with Celestine Donko on a gospel song titled Yadawasi. Speaking in an interview with Frankie 5 on Daybreak, on This Is Gospel, the award-winning singer mentioned that comments from industry people like Gobi Nate really hurt him. He, however, questioned the judgmental nature of some Christians and added that knowing God is a personal affair.
I have to be honest. I mean, when the news broke out, and then I started hearing people, and I think a brother coming through to the studio to talk about us as me and Fia being on the same song with Celestine, and then him or some people saying things that wasn't really cool in my spirit. I'm like, you don't know me. So me, I say me one more on. Christians and I need be they are very judgmental. They because me too or don't want him nana bibino. Obi kwen him say o de gwa nyankopon enti umo. And I say unim nyame. And what they don't know is like Frankie, last time I told you, I've been in the church. My church.
You shared your story right here.
Yeah, for almost 21, 22 years.
You've been in the church.
In the church. I've been the same keyboardist for Parliament Chapel International. Apostle Francis Amakwata is my pastor, my head pastor, or my godfather. So if people sit back, or some people sit back and say, we are so because Frankie, worshiping God or knowing God is a personal affair. It's a personal affair because we wait much a white sissing in Michelle. But none of them papa. But what must say? A woman, and yet you who any swore and then go ponge. It is a name to a love song because I feel I have the talent. God has given me the talent to do even gospel songs and then to do love songs. I'm frank, I'm doing both. It's not like I'm leaving one aside. And then the news comes out that Ebimudi and Sese and Kiyaba side Honoma. That's how come I started singing the song. You're born in and Kaya Sese, you're bound, Beji Wadum. Dansumo bro ayadumbi. You get it? Ayadum enedianum. In this obit never be no okasa now. The person doesn't know the relationship between myself and the God that we all worship. Me pacho yen shadi wensu. The gift is very different from our character. You get my point? So the fact that obi se to gospel doesn't mean say the suban is a gospel na otono.
Okay.
Ebi na nyankopon hwehwe mu kura mbono yehwe mu ebi na nkametini chen obi. But what must say? Until let us not go there by saying say I bo odo hunyumu ntino ye de so se be di boni fo ada say ye so bronsam de. I think I don't know if it was the Obi himself or somebody saying say they don't know the God that we worship. Really?
Yeah, it's because of where you have put yourself.
Frankie, and you been what I know the word. And it tells me, say, assembly I can be a
exactly.
So everything that I put in my song, I am totally aware.
You're aware of it.
I'm aware of it.
That you'll be judged.
I'll be judged one day by it. So anytime I write a song, any love song that I want to write, I put a ruler to it. Bible says many person. So anytime I put myself to the test, my mind and my heart, I then I make sure what's behind it. The motives at the end of the day, that's what we're going to be judged by. And I'm about So if I'm writing a song and I want to write about I do love you, I want to talk about people's relationship. Love is unfair. Sometimes you love somebody and the person doesn't love you back. I want to talk about Shemebo, about parents at home, broken homes. I want to talk about things that why can you
Erade. Saraba photo nyom se. Kro kro. Kro ni Erade. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
ICGC. Big Temple. You know there?
I don't know there. Where is Big Temple?
ICGC just around.
Oh, that's true. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Just that I don't normally go.
Because he didn't want any further questions.
At least he's being honest.
You see, the Bible says.
Hey, please. What's your take on that? Would you, please? I'm not talking about the Bible.
No, why?
Oh, I don't want Obinate to come back here.
You brought.
Look, Obinate says, let me tell you, there are rules to it. There are rules and regulations. Gospel music.
I listened to.
It's
know
not-
that day I came here.
It's not cheap.
I had a meeting somewhere, so I couldn't be part of the show. But I came here. I don't know whether you saw me.
Yeah, I saw you.
Yeah, I came here, but I was pressed for time, so I had to go. I like his passion for defending the gospel. You know, because
Over in the Algrom,
I like his passion, because at the end of the day, if you love something and you see or you think that some people are not attaching that seriousness to it, it hits. So definitely people like him will behave the way he's behaving, because he says something that in every society there are rules. Yes, it's true. There are rules, there are regulations, do's and don'ts that form the basis of the society and their beliefs. So it's not bad for people to use the rules as yardstick to measure who qualifies or not. But as to whether who does the judgment and that measure, that job is not his. That is where I had a problem. Yes, you can raise concern, but don't condemn, because that power does not belong to you. I was looking at something right now. If you read Matthew chapter 13, verse 30,
preach.
the Bible says, let them go together.
Amen. Flying my boy, catch go.
Because the harvest is for the Lord. So yes.
Harvest.
Yeah. So the person might be.
Do you know what you are talking about?
I'm talking about harvest.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might think that the person.
Why is Mr. Logic cry? My friend, you cannot look at me and you're personalized. You are personalizing.
You see, so in as much as we have passion for what we believe in, we should be careful not to discourage people from coming to believe the very thing that we believe in.
Right.
Because if you don't take care, your attitude might end up warding people away instead of, bringing them in. What is the essence of the gospel? The essence of the gospel is to ensure that people see Christ and accept Christ, so that they can be born again and be accepted in heaven after death. So if your attitude ends up drawing people apart instead of bringing them closer, you might have a good motive, but your action may end up defeating the very thing you believed in.
Okay, so Akwabwa, what Akwabwa is saying, that knowing God is a personal affair.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him?
Religion is a personal conviction. So normally I don't argue about issues of religion, because we all know our God differently. When you go to India, they claim they serve the same God, but they know their God differently. They worship God through the means that they understand God to be. Before the white man came, our forefathers had their own way of doing it. That is the traditional religion. Some people do practices too. There are atheists, people who do not believe that there is God at all. That is what they believe in. When you go to Hare Krishna, they also have a way of worshiping their God. The Ekanka, they also have a way of worshiping their God. Baha'i, they also have a way of worshiping their God. So if you are a Christian, yes, what you believe in is what you practice in. But don't condemn someone's own. If anything at all, try to convince, so that many people can believe in what you believe in. I was once a Salvationist, Salvation Army. You see this SS on our shoulder, save to serve.
And then they wear their hat.
Yeah. So you are saved to serve. Serving means
Oh, so that's what it means. I
Yeah.
thought the S is for the salvation.
no,
salvation.
no. Save to serve. That is the meaning of it. I was made a senior soldier in 1997.
Hey.
You know, in Accra. Yeah, I was a senior soldier. Save to serve. So you are saved to serve, and the serving means letting people know the truth, letting people know the light. So you don't have to be a blockade. Sometimes our attitude, sometimes our posture, sometimes our dressing, sometimes our demeanor might ward people off. I know people that decided not to go to church because some people who claim to be Christians, their attitude in the house they lived in alone discouraged people from going to church. So OB's own, the question is, what was the intention? I know the intention might be good, but maybe the way he went around it, you know, is what my brother is complaining about. We should let people be and rather encourage people to accept Christ.
Right. Ria?
For me, I was a bit bummed out too that I wasn't part of the discussion because I actually did my research, you know, prior to it. And I would like to say I was even glad that Ernest brought up the quotation and the judgmental part of his, you know, argument. I would also like to say that Ghana, I would not encapsulate all Ghanaians in one box, but I would say some Ghanaian Christians are the only Christians I have seen who do not act Christ-like. Let me put it in that context, because even when you read the Bible, you realize that the Jews asked Jesus Christ why he mingled with sinners, quote unquote. And then he said he didn't come to, you know, serve the already saved, but those who were not saved. Let's take it for instance, Efia or Akwabwa being, how would we know that Efia or Akwabwa being in a Celestine Donko song will not influence them to take a holy path?
And what is even the holy path?
Exactly
Why do
my
you
point.
judge? You are not God. Only God knows
Exactly
who is righteous before him
my point.
and who is not.
Isn't it in the Bible? Please, you are the one reading the Bible. Isn't it in the Bible that God even said our righteousness is just like a filthy rag before him?
Yeah.
You understand me? So how do you even know that you, the person castigating and saying whatever you have to say, you are righteous? You get me? There's even a school of thought that says that if you fornicate and probably I lie, there's no different hell for you, there's no different hell for me. We
Hell
all
is
burn in the same hell. So who are you to just get up and say and criticize, point a finger at somebody for doing or exercising his or her personal conviction, as you put it? I felt like it was really, really uncalled for. And I think even that form of criticism might even, you know, pull people away from the gospel, because at the end of the day, well, I started with secular music and they don't want me anyway. So why do I even try? You get me? So I think it was really uncalled for, and Obinate, is that his name? I think he should also reassess himself a bit, because I think I know he's coming from a good place. Sometimes my mom always says it is not what you say, it is how you say it. So I think well, it is what it
But
is.
he raised some concern that already it looks as if the gospel fraternity is marginalized. So if care is not taken, you know, the secular artist will also invade the gospel market, and it will end up affecting, you know, gospel. Yes, from his point of view, it might sound right, but that is not biblical. Yeah, that is not biblical. That is humane, but it's not biblical. He's fighting for the gospel sector. But the question is that what the Bible says?
What if they have something to learn from the secular artists?
That
You
also is
understand
there.
me?
But
You know.
I wanted to find out, is it because they sung in Twi? Because I've been to churches that they sing the storm is over.
Look, Mary Mary has a song with Nicki Minaj, and it was a bestseller. It went, I think, gold.
So who patronized those?
I'm even shocked, unless you ask.
Agbebolowe.
But the song is nice. The song is nice.
Which song?
Celestine
The thank you song. Nice song.
The song is nice. And do
Very,
you know the
very
place
nice.
that I enjoyed?
Which one?
Obinati, the place that I enjoyed was a fierce part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't know
But I
that's
listen to
talent.
that part, you know, it gives me goosebumps because, Charlie, I feel so emotional.
I know.
Can you do me that?
Oh, I'll try. Why not? We are about leaving. Yeah, some comments. Good morning, Mr. Andy and your crew, about this COVID-19 issue. The way government is handling it, it's not real. The disease is spread through physical contact. That's if I'm wrong, but the authorities say vehicles should work normal, which means no social distance. What if someone picks the virus from outside while they have their nose masks? For me, before things will go back to normal, unless the social distancing is brought back, my workplace, for instance, our bus speaks full, but when we get out to a plant, we are asked to social distance, which doesn't make sense to me. Bring back social distance. Jerome from Kataman. So, good morning, Andy and team. One thing I noticed yesterday was the school kids in my area started very well with masks and ended the day without a mask. Same thing this morning. Good morning, Brandy. Please play me Creator by That Beat God. Okay, that's a nice one. Abdul Rab says, sad when things are done like this in Ghana. You, the leaders, made we feel like there were no COVID before and during the election and the Christmas. That's Abdul Rauf. I'm going to let God be the judge of those who go to heaven and hell. Joel Osteen. Please tell Andy to read this quote to support the discussion. Thank you. My name is Andy. Good morning. Brandy, good morning. I'm so much shocked hearing people justifying for Akwabo and Afia, but bash Nasi for singing Miniwa. A secular can sing gospel, and it's all now about the hearts. But when the gospel sings secular, then it's no more about the hearts. I'm Francis.
What was wrong about Nasi's song or Dominewa?
There was nothing wrong with it.
If I tell my wife as a Christian that you are my chosen one,
like even with
what is wrong with that?
For worse.
Yes, what is wrong with that? It's because we don't understand what we claim to fight for.
I think people think every form of secular music is vulgar.
No, we just don't understand it. Look, this song, I'm actually this song.
Sufre
unyame, se omo, se unyame pa, debi ebi edike jawa, mani ya. Se odie ma ya ma onre hu na ye mpaibo.
Gospel.
Yes.
Gospel.
But somebody might condemn that song
because it's how much they did singing.
And we'll go and endorse Koko Kebrodo, Nyame be mami bio, Nyame be mami bio. You know, sometimes we should get things straight.
Kelly Bolivo says our righteousness is like filthy rags in the face of God. So those claiming righteousness should be careful when judging others. O2 Boy says, Brandy, this argument about gospel back and forth in Ghana will never change. Some people in Ghana will never accept this assertion because there is in Akan, baby Edidi and Seho. Ojiwangana says, Obinate, the sure his name self no data book inside. Official symptoms there. So I asked myself, what song would that Obi guy play when he's having sex? Hi, Christianity and hypocrisy. Glory to God, I left that religion. Kwakuskanti says, some Ghanaians have been hypocrite. Don't they sing but be a choir man made by Kwabna? And he a gospel musician. I know Pastor Obi has sang it before. I would just like say 99.9% of Greek Christians worship a supposed picture of God with long hair, yet they judge and don't entertain a fellow with same hair. And that's the most of my people are the real definition of hypocrites. DW says, kindly read John 8 verse 7. We are all sinners. No one is a saint. Patrick Mboma, let me end with yours. He says, I'm sure by now Obinat will be feeling sorry for a statement he made last week. He should just come back and resubmit the statement again. Many thanks for your time, Ernest. Many thanks for your time, Ria Kameka Celestine.
This is Hitz.